Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, forgive me for my lighting. I don't have one of the circle lights, which look very helpful. And it's a overcast day outside. But that said, wow. Sister Lashid, for you. And to everybody, I guess, in general. Our good sister Lashid has several times mentioned that she's been ailing, and not ailing in a terms where she's on death's door. No, gratefully, I don't believe that's the case. Though the sister is understandably and wonderfully private about different aspects of her life, including her overall health and what she has endured over a lifetime. She has mentioned that she has an ailment that is a long-term challenge for her, and I'll say no more because she contacted me early on about this particular affliction. Now I know loads more, and my king knows mountains more than I know at this stage. But that said, it's still a very challenging obstacle that she faces, which I'm quite sure would be impacting what she's mentioned up here on social media, on YouTube, that she, I don't know if she got full-term pneumonia, but she came close to it, and my king and I theorize that there's a hardening of her lung tissue that might be, oh no, sorry, it wasn't pneumonia, bronchitis. And only because she's mentioned it, that's the only reason why I'm going to mention it, and everything else is very private for her. But the bronchitis might be because there is a hardening of her alveoli sacs in her lungs that make it not as easily beneficial for her body to transfer oxygen, and then also to keep out any toxicity and transfer the oxygen in an abundancy where it would not be affecting her overall health. So that is a huge factor. However, you, good sister, you have also mentioned your challenges, the obstacles that you face in getting your diet and exercise together. Even though your knees give you trouble, you have mentioned that there are still exercises that you do and you can do. So please, I ask for your forgiveness in doing this share, because this is, putting you on blast. Just by being here. I'm not trying to put you on blast. It's just that really, truly, you're not such an easy person to reach in the messaging platforms, because you don't really go to Facebook and you're not on Instagram, so that I could just talk to you personally, one-to-one. So I'm doing it in this very, very public fashion, and I hope you know it's because I love you. Because there's things going on right now where there's a war going on, and we could all, fun is absolutely wonderful, but there's stuff popping that changes what is just an ordinary condition into something that is far more disastrous. And I need to say something. I'm not saying what could happen, but I'm saying there's ways that it won't happen. And you don't recognize how important people are to you. A lot of us, we don't say, I love you, until we wish we had said it before. I'm not saying that. I'm here to stop that, along with many other black healers. I'm not talking about doctors, okay? Because them, run, you should be running. That you got friggin' bone sticking out of your leg or something, then go to them because of all the wars they've conducted. They know trauma, medication, applications, they know that down pat. But when it comes to ailments that can be fortified because of what you're taking into your body, they, on purpose, because they never stop warring, pretend they don't know a damn thing about that, and most of them really don't, because there's such a idolatry going on for doctors that they will applaud themselves for just memorizing a script that has no healing as part of it. And as you're training to be a doctor, if you get the lie of the whole system set up by the Rockefellers using Robert Flexner, if you get the whole lie of the allopathic medicine industry, and then you get marginalized, you get excommunicated. There's even laws contingent on doctors that they only recommend to their patients what is approved of by the AMA. And it's having a catastrophic effect on billions of people around the planet. All right? And so, sister, you do not have to be suffering so that you're sick week after week. Week after week. We need you. I need you as my friend. And so I recommend taking part in my King's upcoming Zoom class this 29th, because he just breaks it down. He goes over, you could go to his channel, his website, 25000yearscycle.net, and he has a list of what you can eat and what you can't eat. We could have a conversation so that I can be a coach for you in taking those steps to minimize the addiction to these toxic foods that mean your body no damn good. It's a huge undertaking, but it can be done, because I know I am not Superwoman, but compared to how ailing everybody else is, I might as well be, compared to what I manage to accomplish constantly in terms of my exercise, and then just seeing sisters my age struggling to walk up the stairs. I might as well be. Alright? And so I know how to take those steps. But you gotta mean it. That's the thing, is that I mean it. I don't have the money to go join a gym. I don't drive, so I wouldn't even be able to get to one, because there ain't none in my neighborhood. Every place I used to live, it used to be within like a couple blocks I was at the gym. But that's, back then when I was making money selling my jewelry. And no, these are by Sister Yvonne Anke, who's an amazing artist. And I have two different mismatched pairs because I lost the one to each one. And the sister has, she's just ascended to doing phenomenal, gigantic works of art. Amazing artist. But yeah, I used to make money. And I will again. Oh, my soap is almost done today. I do the Nzinga soap. I'm so excited. But yeah, I don't need that. I just will get out, and I don't care. When I first went out, just power walking, that's all I can manage. I didn't care if I looked like a fool. And there was a sister around the block from me, young girl, who was and remains overweight, very, very overweight. And she and her friend saw me power walking, and I'd be swinging them arms. And to be in a black community doing anything, even being in a white community doing what I do, would make you look a little on the strange side. I don't care. When she saw me coming down the block she and her friend had a real hard time. Actually, they didn't have too much of a hard time laughing at me. And I wasn't upset because I knew that I got to get my workout in. And I am going to override any hurdle, including my own resistance to doing the exercise, let alone other people not understanding that you should join me. I don't care, because 13 years later, the benefit of what I've done is just like all over the place. And now my neighbors, they see me and they're just like, I see you, and I started going to the gym. That's powerful. And I don't, because who knows what could happen. Maybe I would, be overcome by some ailment. But all I know is year after year after year, waking up every single day feeling absolutely phenomenal. You never get tired of that. You never get tired of that. Right? So I'm just saying, if you want that healing, it's there for you. I know every single evening, that's when I'm at my weakest. I don't know, what's going on physiologically in my mind, but I guess that's where you need that recuperation from sleeping. And so I have become a hunter of my cravings, especially late at night, with different little practices that I have. Like now I have a dessert that doesn't make me want to overeat it, but it's still satisfying, because as I'm hunting, I'm like, okay, got to take care of my desire for mouth sensation. I got to take care of my desire for that bit of sweetness, but it has no sugar in it. I use stevia. I've even gotten to the point where even in the stevia, I don't use bleached stevia, except it's a little additive to the organic green stevia that we use in our teas and, certain snacks I can't use it in, so I'll use coconut sugar, but I don't even make those snacks anymore, and like once every 3 months. I might make some oatmeal cookies. I make the sweet potato pie that even meat eaters are like, this is the best sweet potato pie I've ever tasted. But I don't make it because the sugar's so toxic. Even the coconut sugar, and this is just from over a decade of fine-tuning my health. I didn't start out at this level. I just made it gradually, step by step. And my indicator that I needed to improve was if I ever got sick. Then I was like, okay, all right, I got to get better. And I got better, right? So that I'm like, what? I wish I'd done this when I was 30, right? So I go hunting. And studying my prey, which is my cravings, and satisfying the different triggers that will propel me into eating all the wrong stuff. And so you have your own unique individual challenges in that regard, in terms of your family, and that they eat everything. You might just have to sit down and have a group meeting and say, look, Grandma, Mom needs to be healthy. You want me to be healthy. So we have to change some things until I could get stronger here in the house. Right? I'm at the point now where I've had such evidence of the healing that my king and our son, especially our son, when you grow up vegan, sometimes you will just veer off, especially in our household where it's been powerful pro-blackness. So our son slowly, and we pray for him that he will wake up altogether. But he wants to, and I understand, find his own voice to make sure that what he's living is an authentic life and not just, like the programming from mom and dad. Especially, we don't live in our own nation. They peddle insanity. They peddle the idea that being healthy is impossible. Right? Or that it's just some sort of weirdo thing. When no, it's just a fact. Nobody loves getting sick. There's never anybody who sends their vacation pictures of when they deliberately made themselves sick because it's just so much fun. All right, so he's learning that yes, you have to eat better. All right, it's not an easy thing at all, and the programming is deep. It's deep. Now, there's plenty of people up here who I wish everybody healing, without a doubt. But if they're ailing, I'm not going to speak to them pointedly and try to encourage them to better ways so that they can heal themselves. But that's not the way that we are in the pro-Black community, which isn't a community, it's our sanity as a people, where we recognize the beauty of being Black. Well, Sister Lashid, there's not very many sisters like you, like me, and like I think right now we're about the only two who will still just say what needs to be said, and by Black women. All the others are, the best to them. They're either on other platforms, not as dynamic and interactive as YouTube could be. They won't allow it to be, that's the reason, because the visual media is that impactful. And all the best to those sisters, wonderful sisters, and I know many of them on different platforms. But up on here, for me, you're about it. If there's someone else out there, anybody, let me know and I'll go visit their channels. But I'm talking about where you're really just going to not stay in the oppression porn type of topics, which you don't, and you will bring it right to our hearts, right to what needs to be said, even dropping the names that need to be told so we can be informed and better protected against the lies that they put out here. So I'm not going to not say something. So, sister, I pray you hear me, because you're such a righteous Black woman. You're so devoted to the Most High, and that is powerful, because you just stay on that devotion. Whether you think that you're doing, all the things you know in your heart you should be doing, maybe the Most High has another way of just putting something in your heart so you can't ignore it. Like me with the man-made radiation, I know daggone well I ain't never gonna stop, even if our people don't realize what I'm doing, how important what I'm doing is. All right? Even if they don't realize it till 5 more generations down the line, as that radiation ain't going anywhere, and the impact of it is going to be undeniable, because ain't no contagion ever going to be attributable as the catalyst for what's on the way, as long as we don't pay attention to my warnings and employ the remedies that I put out there in this book for all of us. You need this book too, sister, because what we're dealing with is a mindset that would have sufficed a couple generations back, but it doesn't now, because number one, the radiation, which increases the toxicity of everything else by 1,000-fold. You get rid of that, and maybe you can return to, okay, I'm doing a couple things wrong. Don't get mad at me, Sister Anjali, okay? But not with that radiation on everybody's plate, because it interferes with your thyroid and your thymus glands, which then impact your body's ability to hormonally communicate, so that all your different systems can't say, we need a cleanse down here at the foot, or over here in the liver, the heart. We're in trouble with the hearts. Okay? There's so many of us going down because I put the meme up with the quote from Dr. I think it was Nesterenko, who said, you receive 20% more potassium in your heart muscle than all the other organs, which also require it. But cesium 137 mimics potassium. And if you're eating this Western poison diet, which has been deliberately concocted to have very little nutrition in it whatsoever, and then on top of it, they've made all the most poisonous food more addictive than friggin' heroin or carfentanil. Right? Eating all of that, your body is going to be sucking up that radiation, because the radiation's in there. Radiation just is sucked up. And so you're going to have cesium-137 going to your heart. Radiation doesn't just cause cancer. It increases the danger of every single debilitation. Right? And so, I hope you understand, sister. Okay? Because it's terrible. It's terrible when nobody says anything when you could have said everything. Right? Alright. Whoo, forgive my corniness, forgive my just whatever. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm just your sister. I love you. Peace and